hospitality. My name is Stefan Zarnecki of Black Tie Tours. With me as always, local artist Cole Rogers and Wesley Jones of Tour Cascadia. Here we are. And we're joined today, a special guest. We are at Del Mar Villa. And Emily is the point person here at Del Mar. And she's going to tell us a little bit about the property, the history, and the dream, the vision, the future of what's going to be happening here.
Also a real estate agent with Lux Christie's International Properties.
Correct.
There you go. Extraordinary.
Proud older brother moment.
That's right. Emily.
This is my little sister.
Yep, yes. There we go. Exactly. Well, welcome, Emily. Thanks for coming on and showing us around. We just finished the tour.
Yeah. So Del Mar was built, I believe, 2002. It's about 18 years old. The previous owner was Del Smith. He owned Evergreen Aviation Museum.
Yep.
The estate is absolutely stunning. I mean, there's nothing like this in the valley. There's nothing like this in Portland. It's on 50 acres, 28,000 square feet, 11 beds, 13 baths, and you have a massive ballroom. So, I mean, endless possibilities for what you can do with the estate.
When it backs up to the Willamette River.
Yeah.
So in the daytime you walk out the grounds, most of the acreage is back between the house, spread along the river.
And I'm going to have some wonderful footage all cut in. Hopefully you are seeing that now, people. Not seeing us gesture to the camera. Anyway, so Del Smith.
Del Smith, yes,
Yeah.
owned Evergreen. He was quite an interesting character. It was him and his wife that lived here. No one else. I believe they may have had some staff that lived with them here. But no kids were living in the house, so I mean, I can't even imagine 28,000 square feet for two people. It's pretty incredible. The first time I came here, I thought I was in the Great Gatsby movie. Like that, I mean, that's just the vibe when you come here. Like, there are no villas like this in Oregon. Like, this just doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
The house went for sale several years ago. No one really bought. The hard thing about this is there are no comps. So when you price it, there's no way to price this. The house cost $18 million to build, and that's just the house itself. And there's the original Victorian on the estate as well as the 50 acres. So, you know, imagine going into that and you have the most phenomenal house in all of Oregon, and like, there's no way to price that out. So it sat there for a little while, went to auction, sold at $3 million. And the now, unreal, right? The now owner came in, did a ton of work. So brand new stucco, brand new roof, restained every window and door, and then like the guts of the house were completely redone so that it's fully functioning and operational.
That's insane. Yeah, I heard you say some, like, the electrical was all...
Yeah, electrical, plumbing, HVAC. I went through septic inspections. I went through, like, there's a brand new well. It's just, the idea was to come in, even though it was a functioning residence, to come in and make sure that it was, you know, no one's getting a call at 10 p.m. Oh, we can't flush the toilets. Because we didn't, redo the plumbing.
Right.
So it's nice knowing that when we rent the house, everything is in perfect functioning order.
Because you kind of have to do the property justice.
Totally.
Right? Because, I mean, like, if you come and you see all of this, and then, like, the handle on the toilet's broken, it kind of...
It
throws off
downplays.
the vibe.
Totally.
Well, it's kind of almost a little like Salishan, you know, out of the coast. It's like, it was the place to be in the 70s, you know, but then they never updated it, and it just kind of, you know, fell a little bit into disrepair, and now finally, you know, it's bringing back to its former glory. And these big, beautiful places are so expensive to maintain. It's like owning a classic Ferrari or something, you know, like, you might have the money to buy it, but you better have the money to maintain it properly, or else it's just going to rot.
And all those details. I mean, the place this big, there's so many details to cover when you're trying to, like what they were doing, restuccoing, restaining, all the plumbing and electrician and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the nicer it is, the more you have to be detailed about those little fixes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the house, like, the bones of it are in such good condition. I mean, all the doors, like the door handles, like everything, the floors, like, I mean, these are all original, right? And you come in here and it's just, for what it looked like when they bought it, all of that stuff is still in phenomenal condition.
What was the craziest repair, where you don't have to say the number, but where you got the bid and you went,
So all of that was left up to the owner. So he came in, he was the one that saw all the numbers. And the great thing is he has a background like in construction and real estate. So he was able to bring in his own workers, which was phenomenal.
Nice.
So a lot of people did put bids in on this house, and they were expecting it was going to cost about $1 million in renovations. And I don't know what the end number was, but it was less than that. But he, he had an upper hand because he knew how to go in and fix it. And that's the kind of person who needs to take on this scale of a project, as opposed to someone who's like, oh my God, that house looks incredible. Like, I'm gonna go in and fix it up. And then you're like, and now $1.5 million in because you were doing right and you do something stupid.
Right.
So I think probably I would say the stucco, he has a huge project going on. Time, very labor intensive for sure.
How haunted is the house?
So I've actually been here several times by myself at night, and I've never gotten a weird vibe. Of course, like there's been like 1 or 2 times where it's like pitch black outside, and I'm like freaking myself out, and I'm like sprinting through the house to turn off all the lights. But it's weird because I've been asked that so many times. I've never once got a creepy vibe, and I feel like I'm like super in tune with like.
But there's the other house on the property though.
Okay. I know.
We need to do like a Ghost Hunters episode and go in there at night.
Yeah.
I've walked in there before, and it's if there was going to be anything, it would be there.
So we do like a Halloween episode.
It's full of furniture right now.
I hate
moved
scary
over.
stuff, so they make good content.
You're
You always
Wesley.
need scary stuff.
I'm not good at
Wesley's
scary
scream
stuff.
like a girl.
Oh.
I just grit my teeth and get through it. Haunted houses.
Haunted houses, yeah, that's
Yeah,
Scary
I
movie.
can't do
Haunted
haunted
houses.
houses.
My first response is to hit if something pops out. So
Yeah.
it's not a good.
Yeah.
You know what my wife does? She drops to the ground, fetal position. Were you at that haunted house? We were getting chased by people with chainsaws,
No.
and she just hit the ground and cried.
When you find out if it's fight, flight, or freeze.
It worked.
Freezing.
The guy was like, okay, like went away.
Yeah.
She was like, see, it worked, didn't it? I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Terrifying.
So as far as the property being able to be rented, how close are you? Is everything permitted? Can bookings start as of right now?
Yeah, so we're fully licensed right now. I actually already have a booking for next summer, like a pre-booking. We'll have on Airbnb and VRBO in the next like week-ish. We are just waiting to finalize some photos to get those ready.
Yeah.
But I'm taking bookings like offline currently. But I mean, once I have it live on Airbnb and VRBO, you can go through them, or you can just call me directly or email me, and then.
Is
you can just
there
book
going to be times it's sort of held for event space only rather than like Airbnb and vacation rentals?
No,
Or it's just whoever rents it?
First come,
Whoever
first
First come, first serve.
Okay.
Rent the house as a whole and do with it as you please.
Okay.
First off, how many people does it sleep?
So there's 11 bedrooms.
Okay.
All of the bedrooms either have, they either have king beds or they have 2 full beds in them. There's 4, 5, I think 5 bedrooms that have 2 fulls in them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can sleep a lot of people. I
A
actually
few
haven't-
families.
I'm sure- I think
22 to 30
Yeah, yes.
easy in
Easy.
bed.
Well, plus there's
Easy.
couches and a bunch of
And
big
there's
rooms
like,
to sleep
I
in.
mean, the bedrooms are really big, and so if
Yeah.
if you had like even more people that needed to crash here, as I said, do with the house as you please.
Yeah, bunk rooms.
Yeah. Totally.
Now, how many people can the ballroom hold for events?
250
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's good for weddings, galas,
weddings,
auctions,
yeah,
whatever.
corporate events, whatever you want to use the space for.
What's the price point?
So we're $5,000 a night, 3-night minimum.
Okay. And there's no extra like event fees to
No
rent it
extra
for a
event
wedding.
fees.
Okay.
There'll be like a small cleaning fee, under $1,000 per booking.
That's incredible because if you're
I
trying
think that's a
to
good deal.
like
That's a
rent a
hell of a deal.
winery for 6 or 8 hours for a wedding, it's $5,000 to $10,000 just for that window.
Mhm.
So not only can you like
Right.
the whole family or the bridal party or your executives before your big team offsite, you can house everyone. You're not putting them up in a hotel and then renting a separate event space.
And that's the whole idea for this space. Like think about it, you have three nights here. You can have, if you're doing it for like a wedding, you do a rehearsal dinner. You can, have your wedding the next day, and then you can have the following day after that where it's just like super laid back and you don't feel rushed to get out of here. Like I think of the amount of weddings I've been in, and it's like you're getting ready off site and then you're rushing to the venue and then you have to be out by 10 o'clock because you're going to get a noise complaint. But if you want to dance till 5 in the morning, you can dance till 5 in the morning. Like imagine how much.
And you don't have to drive after.
And you don't have to drive. No.
Well, in this space, with some drone footage, or we'll stitch some in, the big event space opens up into the sprawling lawn back behind. So you can make a summer event be an indoor-outdoor experience.
Well, yeah, in this place, I mean, one of the things Emily was pointing out on the way through was just basically every window, every opening, it opens to the outside all the way. So it really does become like a truly indoor-outdoor type of a venue when it's warm outside.
Yeah.
Right.
It's cool. Like outside of the Black Walnut, and that's a totally different vibe. Like there isn't a space like this in the valley.
There's nothing that's big or grand or just impressive, like awesome.
Right.
It's really truly like an awesome.
It's like Domain Serene's clubhouse, but you have like actual bedrooms and like you could rent it out. Right.
Well, and it has like a smaller commercial kitchen, so you could bring a chef in to cater everything, and everything's capable of being done on site.
Yeah.
Which, in most venues, being part of a catering team, like isn't always the case.
Well, and that was kind of nice when I did a very small private like opening event here, and we ended up having I think 75 people that ended up being here, and we had it on the back patio. It was like the perfect space for it. But I brought in Vitaly Paley in here, and he catered the whole event. And it was like really cool to be able to see how the flow was, so that then when I'm walking people through, I could say I've had the experience of this is your prep space. This is this is where you're going to go in and out of, instead of being like, well, I think this is where you like. I've actually seen it take place. So that was really cool for me to be able to do something like that before this actually goes live.
Right.
So then I'm talking from experience instead of like, oh well, do whatever. It's like this is actually what you can do.
Yeah.
So that was super cool.
Yeah, it's a cool space. Now, is it going to be the same price year round? Are you going to have off-season pricing, high season? Yeah,
for now, we're doing the 5,000 3-night minimum. That may change one way or the other, seasonally, depending. We're just right now getting it out there, trying to get it booked. And I've walked the space with a lot of event coordinators and a bunch of future brides. Everyone's super excited about it.
So if you know you're getting married anytime in the next year, like
I mean, it really is
the
a
price point
a deal.
is unreal for what you're getting.
I mean, I don't know what the Allison is, but I'm sure it's more than $15,000 to rent the space for a wedding, or around there, probably something like that.
Well, and I don't know how. I'm not sure.
Well, I just mean by venues in the area are going to be comparable to what you'd pay for 3 nights here for a single day.
This is private.
Right.
So you're not going to have, random people driving up and potentially popping into your wedding. Like you're on 50 acres of privacy.
Sure.
Like you don't get that anywhere. I mean, maybe if you go to Bend, you can get a ranch or something, but I not even at that price point. There's also a tennis court. There's a basketball court. So that's really cool. You have like outdoor activities. There's a fire pit, all these little trails along here, right along the Willamette. It's pretty ideal.
Well, and this is cool too, because we've been talking about sort of the influx of NBA folks that are paying attention to Oregon as a wine destination, some of them getting into the wine game. This is the kind of place where you can come discreetly stay, enjoy the whole grounds.
Yeah, have who you want over, and not have people walking up on you asking for an autograph.
And it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why we decided to rent this place as a whole instead of room by room. And we had thought, and we have future ideas too, with the other house being renovated and people being able to use that. But for the privacy aspect, because this house is it's such one of a kind, we know we're going to get guests out here that aren't going to want to be bothered by people walking past your room, at a different hotel or bed and breakfast situation. You want the entire house, and you can bring in your own chef to cook for you while you're here. So it's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting together with a bunch of buddies and bringing it out
for a party house.
No,
a few
days.
I wouldn't mind either.
No.
Although, the pool's gone.
The pool is gone. I know. I know. That was kind of sad that the pool had to go, but potentially in the future we'll see about maybe putting a pool outside if we get enough people that are like, hey, we would love to come stay here for a week or 2 or 3. And we actually I had some people contact me. This is post the pool being filled. A director wanted to shoot a movie out here, but they needed a pool specifically for a certain scene.
Oh my God.
And then I had a couple that wanted to rent the house for 2 months straight, but they specifically wanted a pool, and we'd already filled the pool, right? So then just for shits and gigs, we're looking to see, okay, how much would it cost to like rip it out and put the pool back in, and then but it's just so much time intensive, and it's like, okay, then you're gonna have to rent it out for all that time that it would take to rip it out and re-put it in. It's like $100,000 to even go through that process.
Right.
So it's like, well, how much money do you want to spend?
I'm not renting it out until you put it in the pool. I'm just gonna put my foot down.
Look,
I'm gonna save my $15,000 that I have saved up for this and just.
I'll load your inflatable pool into the back of
Oh
the
my
SUV
God.
and bring it out here. For
There
you.
we go.
Yeah.
Get one
You-
from like Target or
You
something.
can float around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. No, but it's true though. Like if you have like a lot of people travel together,
Right.
like groups of people. Like
I'm
you
starting to
and
do that now. It's
6,
so much
7,
fun.
8 other couples.
Right.
And just rent it out and have a fucking great time for a week or whatever.
Yeah.
It makes
I
a ton
have
of
this
sense.
incredible idea, and I may be, speaking on this too soon, but I talked to someone who has a company where he puts on like food and wine tours. Like he'll do it in Portland, and he also does them like in Europe. And he was here at my event, and I told him, I said, Chris, what if you rent out the house for those 3 days? You bring in 3 new chefs every night, and you have a new winery featured every day as well. And you sell all 11 bedrooms for that whole weekend. And then during the day, take people wine tasting in the valley,
Yeah.
and then come back here and you have this magical feast prepared for 11 couples. Or 11 single people. Because some people are single.
That sounds attractive too. I know the people that we end up dealing with
Yeah.
a lot. So.
Yeah.
But how
Very
cool
cool.
would that be?
And then of course, just having like a hospitality party.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
I think.
thinking a wine label launch party also coincides with my birthday.
Totally calm.
Yeah.
So
You're getting old.
thinking I'll be
Totally.
Are you
30.
getting gray hair?
Not,
In
well,
your
my,
beard?
my beard is calico.
He dyes
It's
it.
got some blonde.
Calico?
Some,
You're not a cat.
No, but it's got some red and some brown.
There's some gray.
He's a dog.
There's
Oh,
gray
God.
for sure.
No, you can tell I'm getting old because my receding hairline, and it's
Well,
a little thin in the
It's probably
back.
because you were based
Oh
on
man,
that.
I got a haircut today. I am just like
Oh boy.
A little light on top.
it's a little. Yeah.
I might have gray hair, but
I'm gonna go Jean-Luc
it's
Picard
here.
someday.
It's here for
I'm gonna
life.
show up for recording and I'm gonna be fucking bald, and you guys are gonna be like, ah! But it is not this day.
One of these
Today
days.
is
One
not
of these.
the day.
It is not this day. All right, we're gonna take a little break, and in the next segment, you're gonna see our tour of the house,
Yep.
and but we will be right back. Welcome back to Hospitality. So before we continue, we are drinking a 2013 EIEIO from the Saffron Fields Vineyard in honor of Sanjeev of Saffron Fields, who just passed away suddenly. A real tragedy, totally unexpected. And,
Gem of a person. Super sweet.
Yeah, super nice guy, and I know that's hitting a lot of people really hard in the valley right now.
Yeah.
Just to see somebody like that, just poof, gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sanjeev, thank you
Yeah.
for your contributions. We're gonna miss you. Cheers.
Absolutely.
All right. So, let's discuss what's been beautiful and what's been brutal. I'll start with what's been beautiful. The Willamette Valley Winery Association is doing a spiffy little Thanksgiving, I think, holiday promotion or whatever. What did I call it? Something, the giving season promotion. And obviously we can't do normal Thanksgiving. People are asking about it. They're dying for the open houses and the music and the food and all that kind of stuff. And it's just not happening. So they kind of whipped up to this little promotion where all participating wineries are offering something as like a thank you kind of gift. So it's a lot of wine discounts. So like if you buy, well, actually it's like they're doing some 6-packs and 3-packs that are discounted, or percentage off. You buy a gift certificate and you get 20% off your next purchase, or stuff like that. So there's a few, like one of them, La Bastide, B&B in whatever in Dundee. If you buy a $400 gift certificate, you get 1 night stay for free.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's kind of nice. There's a lot of winery participations. I'll get onto that. The Allison, and the Allison does not discount.
Ever.
They don't discount.
No.
So this is like kind of crazy. It says the Allison will offer 1 complimentary glass of Austin Knoll wine with a minimum food purchase of $20 per person in the living room or jewelry, and a 20% discount of your room rate, and a complimentary bottle of Austin Knoll wine with the promo code booking directly to the Allison.
That's significant with how expensive those rooms are.
Way to go, Willamette Valley Winery Association, to get the Allison to do that, because they really
Right.
hesitate because they're careful with their brand.
Willamette Valley Winery Association's been doing a really good job all the way through COVID of doing promotions and pushing marketing towards
keeping places relevant.
Right, recentering. Like, hey, you might not be able to come to the valley, but here's how we're going to take care of you. Right.
Yeah.
A couple of other cool ones. Kenwright Cellars is giving away swag, I think, with a minimum purchase, like hat or shirt or something. So I'm like,
Sweet.
all right,
I'll take some Kenwright swag.
I want some
I'd-
Kenwright swag. My dad always wore Kenwright swag.
I like only
Still
wear
always
swag.
Kenwright
I've got
has swag.
I got an even pole hat on right now. You can see that?
Oh yeah.
Killer Farmers.
Winery swag's actually some of my favorite swag.
Yeah?
It's great. A good
Yeah.
winery hat.
Absolutely.
I feel real cool
My
with
dad
a
would
winery hat.
destroy his swag. They were always his truffle hunting hats, and they just get caked in mud and everything. Yeah, winery swag is the best.
You feel very cultured wearing a winery hat. It's like, I've been to that place.
Yeah.
So have I, and not many other people in this room have.
Oh, Aiden wears like
Oh, I see.
winery swag that I
It's
wear
the same
once.
reason.
Roots
It's
has
like,
the best swag.
You're a winery
The soil yourself
Yourself.
shirts.
Roots has great stuff.
I don't
yeah.
buy a lot of shirts, but those are
Soil
good.
yourself.
Domaine Nicolas J. I'm guessing with the qualifying purchase, sneak peek of the new winery being built on the backside of the Dundee Hills. Arlen, that vineyard out by Laurel Hood, quilted stocking. You get a quilted stocking made by, I think, somebody's mom or something like that. So anyway, there are a lot of cool little bonuses
Yeah.
out there in the valley. I don't know when it officially starts, but I think the idea that it's now
It's got to be soon.
Yeah, and I know some of the places where, like, if you donate X amount of canned food, you get a tasting fee off or something like that.
I know
So-
Roy did something like that. If you brought canned food last Thanksgiving, it was like 10% off your total order.
Yeah.
Well, food banks are struggling to get people food right now, so that'd be a huge thing for the holidays right now. Yeah. Very important.
Yeah, it's cool. So kudos to you, Willamette Valley Winery Association.
Yeah. Also beautiful. I just wanted to say something about fall is like so fleeting. And every year it's always like, oh my God, the leaves are changing. And then, oh my God, they're gone. And so I just wanted to take a moment and just reflect on how beautiful everything is right now. And just like how quick this moment is every year.
Right.
Go outside and like go look at the vineyards. It is a vineyard in the fall is one of the most amazing sights. It really is. You can go to any area in this valley and just see like fields of red, gold, green, and then just amazing trees all around. It's amazing.
I
So,
appreciate that call because 2020's been shit
We
for
need
so
something
many of us.
beautiful.
Like, just a reminder to stop, breathe. Like,
Yeah.
realize we have a roof over our head. We have a toilet that flushes our poops away. Most of us have the food that we need. Like,
right.
we're living like absolute royalty if you look at the history of
Stop and
people.
take a look
Like,
around.
stop, breathe, go enjoy some gorgeous scenery.
So as shitty 2020 has been this fall, of
Right.
2020 has been pretty fucking beautiful,
Right.
and I love it.
Go drink some wine,
I'm
take a
enjoying it.
drive,
Yeah,
slow
go
down.
Take a drive. Exactly. And actually, I had some guests one time that said that our vineyards changing color are much more beautiful than anything they've ever seen. Like something like I think they said that Napa or California, where they've been in the past, they've been there in fall, and it's not the same.
Right.
It doesn't have the same brilliance.
I'd compare it to like
okay, great.
to like peak week on the East Coast, in Vermont, North Carolina, South
Yes.
Carolina. Like
Vermont's
all the
beautiful this time
leaves
of year.
change all at the same time, and it's gorgeous. And we have something different but equally beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, it truly is fleeting. Next week it'll be gone. So
A
it's
big
like,
a big wind gust, and they're all
Right.
yeah,
they fall off.
yeah. So yeah, like everything, appreciate it while it's here. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
And I like when the deciduous trees drop their leaves, they're still green because they're covered in moss.
Yes.
Because it's Oregon, and like
We live in
look,
the
it's
Garden
still
of
green.
Eden, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Beautiful. Okay. Brutal. So, last week, Wesley had a hot take.
I ruffled some feathers.
You ruffled some feathers. I believe.
First time that's ever happened, by the way. So,
we
apologize.
Yeah, we were talking about
Always keeps his mouth shut.
pricing on burgers, and you
Right.
made the point that at Ruddick it's $18 because they give health care.
Yep.
I don't know if it's itemized on the bill there.
Yeah, it's a tax that's added on. It's like 8% of
Okay.
your total bill. And there's a little flyer on your table that describes how they've set that up.
Right. And in your words, if you're not offering health care, then fuck off
Fuck off.
to your workers. So I received a text that said from somebody else in the industry that said, I don't appreciate Wesley telling us all to fuck off. And they said, we would love to offer, in their words, we would love to offer health care, and especially during these tight times,
Right.
It's not possible or whatever. So, and I was really glad that they reached out, because I was like, honestly,
we like that.
when you said that the other day, I didn't perseverate on it, but it struck me. I was like, oh, shit, that's a strong take. Like,
Yeah.
I don't give health care to my guys. I mean, not that I have that many guys. My parents never gave health care, in the food industry. So I would love to hear more about
Yeah.
your, obviously strong feelings on it.
Right. Well, first off, we appreciate the feedback. We'll almost always address it if it's well thought out.
Yeah.
Between the three of us, we have three very different personalities. We have three different opinions on how the world works. And so if you have a well thought out disagreement, send an email.
That's what we're here for.
Message. Like,
Let's go.
And we'll respond to it. And if it's a good enough conversation, you can come on the podcast. We can have a talk. So it's brutal. One, that it's COVID time and restaurants are struggling. So I totally acknowledge that. I give that to them. Two, it's brutal that more hospitality-centered jobs don't actually take the steps they need to provide healthcare or at least subsidize a health savings account for employees. Most of us in the hospitality industry are paycheck to paycheck. Most of us make just enough that we don't qualify for Oregon Health Plan. And all of us, the majority of us, are one big medical expense away from it actually altering
Homelessness.
our life.
Yeah.
So one, the response to COVID, I get it, that sucks for all of us. But two, if it wasn't an initiative before COVID, then you don't have room to speak on COVID being the reason that you're not taking those steps. Two, my personal beliefs and the way that I run my companies, I'm going to at least pay a living wage. And that comes at a pretty big cost. I believe in people over profit every day of the week. So what Ruddick and Wood is doing by adding this tax and watching how Paul has handled, and he's grown. There's been sort of a trajectory of where he started to where he is now, but he really takes care of his folks. And so for me, I really wanted to highlight that, celebrate that, and coupled that with my really strong belief that if it's at all a possibility, you should be taking care of your people. Because this is who we're breaking bread with at the end of the day. If you want to run a restaurant that has high turnover and you just don't care about the folks, then so be it. But don't be mad at a hot take about providing healthcare, because clearly that's not the MO. If you're struggling and trying to piece it together, and there's really creative ways, if you have a financial advisor to do things that would cover workplace injury or missed time due to sickness, you can get creative with those kind of things. And so I stand by what I said, but I did want to take the time to acknowledge the comment back. It was received. We talked about it.
Well, it's a good conversation to have, and
Right.
even talking through this with you, it makes me think about how I'm running Black Tie, and it's like, could I do more?
Right.
Well, I don't even know if I could do more if I don't explore the
Right.
the options, which
Right.
I probably need to at least do for myself personally. So I don't know if your hot take gets people to
Right.
think more, than great.
I also want to say that, sure, yeah, it's great for discussions, and let's, what we say we mean for sure. we're also three guys who have opinions, and that's what we're here for. That's why we're doing this podcast. So we're going to have hot takes, as in things that people are surprised to hear us say so brashly or black and white. But we're not saying that as in, you know, this is the most educated opinion. We're blurting it out. It's off the top of our heads. So sometimes when we say things, you know, that could have been phrased differently, sure, but that's Wes. Like, that's why we're doing it with Wes, because we want Wes here.
Well, and that's the take you're gonna get if we're sitting down having a beer.
Exactly.
At a
we want to be
bar.
ourselves for the viewers, right?
Right. And you'll see us correct ourselves and challenge each other, and
Yeah.
and I think that's part of what this is. This is an extension of our drinking on the porch at Stefan's
Totally.
and having conversations, and hopefully by the end of it, we're all better for it.
Well, and also, when Wes says that, or I completely agree with what Wes said, by the way, but I don't mean fuck you to any restaurant that doesn't. It just means fuck that. Like, fuck that. That people who work their asses off, maybe in a job that's harder than a lot of other jobs are, that they're the ones that don't have health insurance for their babies.
Right.
So it's not fuck you to the restaurants or to the wineries. It's fuck you to the whole idea of that's not an assumed thing, right?
And if you are a restaurateur and you take profit over your people, then fuck you.
Well,
Wes's hot take.
yeah, there you go.
Richard Branson, he always said, customers don't come first.
Right.
Your employees come first.
Right.
If you take care of your employees,
Southwest Airlines.
they'll take care of Virgin Airlines.
Southwest Airlines has that policy. That's why they're the most successful airline in the world, because they take care of them.
Take care. The employees will take care of your guests.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
there you
Well, yeah, exactly. It's a yeah.
Also, book recommendation: Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek.
Simon Sinek. Yes.
Yep. I won't go into the book. Go look it up.
I completely agree.
All right.
I love the book.
I eat with my staff when we gig together, and I eat the most.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
But they can certainly order whatever they want, just so you know. Ian can attest.
unless it's a Christmas party and an old bottle of wine, and Wes pours a half glass before anyone else has got to that old
In
bottle.
an Oregon wine glass.
I did that. I did that.
right.
Oh my
So
god!
that's a half bottle.
I learned etiquette firsthand from Stefan. Bottles are open on the table, and I just, well, this is an
did a Bill
07.
Rogers-
I
Bill
mean,
Rogers
it looks good to
This
me.
is the best
And I look
one.
over
I better take
I
a
look
lot.
at Stefan, and he's like, Wes, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
I'm sorry, man. We can share this glass.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just
That's-
I was like
the head
22
shake.
years old and
Good old days.
new to the world.
You don't know how much one of these glasses holds.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the whole bottle could go in there.
Well, it's half a glass. That's polite, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
All right. Well, gentlemen, unless you have something to add, I think that's going to do it for tonight.
Yeah.
Anything?
I feel good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody who lasted this long through the episode, and we certainly appreciate your viewership. Please like, follow, subscribe, share with your foodie and wino friends, and we always appreciate that.
And get all your friends together and come stay at this killer rental.
Jesus, yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
And then invite us, and we'll come hang out.
We'll
for
come.
free.
I'll bring a
come party
bottle
with you.
I'll bring a bottle, probably two,
Yeah.
and it won't be shit. I promise. All right. We will see you next week.
Peace.